Hi there. Welcome to the final chapter of Conflict Resolution series. In this chapter, we bring together all the learnings from the previous ones and simplify it as a 5-step approach to resolve conflicts. So far, we have covered the top 3 causes of conflict, root cause analysis, and conflict resolution styles. Let's look at the 5 steps and then a case scenario to understand its application. The first step is situational awareness. Being aware of what is happening around you, observing any changes in the behavior of your team and co-workers is very important. Is there a shift in their way of communication? Is there a continuous banter that you observe between 2 or more people? Or snarky personal comments? Is there a shift in task ownership by your key team members? Situational awareness about any such changes can help you identify conflicts early on. The second step is objectively investigating the situation. It's important for you to put yourself outside the situation, take an overall view, and then investigate what went wrong or what went right. Listen intently, identify what are the emotional issues that might be causing the conflict, because these are usually at the heart of any conflict. Whether it's an ego clash or the way a task or feedback was communicated, or any other that might have caused an emotional charge. And finally, enable collaborative negotiations. Understand what's important to each party. What are the asks they can't compromise on, or the principles that they hold dear? Knowledge about this will help figure out the most collaborative way ahead. Now that you're aware of the conflict and you've investigated objectively, the third step is to identify any roadblocks to progress. These could include emotional, physical, or procedural barriers that block communication. Emotional issues include ego of one or more party, lack of willingness to accept an incorrect stance, the need to be visible and heard at all costs, etc. Cognitive biases are a leading factor contributing to conflicts and preventing their resolution. Physical barriers can include situations like remote working conditions, which none of us are unaware of any longer. Working in different time zones, information overload, language gap, and so on. Procedural barriers can include the pressure from top, like your seniors having an expectation that you will get X, Y, and Z clauses accepted, or complex approval processes, if you have the decision-making authority or not. So these kind of barriers can actually play the role of roadblocks towards progressing in resolving any conflict. The fourth step is determining the seriousness of the issue. Is it something that can explode into something bigger, or is it trivial? Do you need to involve functions like your HR and legal departments? And are you equipped to deal with a situation like this in terms of authority and in terms of the knowledge that you possess? And finally, as the fifth step, chart out the way forward. Identify mutually beneficial and acceptable ways to move ahead. The best way to do that is to separate people from the problem, focusing on interest rather than the position, and encouraging each party to share what is it that's important to them and what's their ask. Reflect on the plan, reassess its pros and cons, and make sure it is implemented. Evaluate on a continuous basis. Let's understand the implementation of this 5-step approach. Here's Timmy and Jimmy. Timmy is heading business, Jimmy is heading projects. They've locked horns over the same old sales versus project implementation fights. Jimmy is not happy that Timmy goes and agrees to everything that the clients ask, even though the company is not equipped to deliver those services. Now, Timmy is not exactly wrong. He agrees that the project implementation teams come under a lot of pressure because of such situations, but one, he has targets to achieve, and two, the company also needs to move forward to be able to cater to what the industry requires. And sometimes Timmy agrees in the meeting room. but still goes out and signs off a deal with the client, accepting terms that the company is not equipped to deliver. Hermione, the new director of operations, notices this continuous banter between Timmy and Jimmy and decides to have a conversation with both of them. She asks both of them relevant questions about what's bothering them, what the challenges are, and identifies what's important to both Timmy and Jimmy to figure out the way forward. She puts a list of changes together and a roadmap for both of them to apply in their respective departments. As a result, the operations between sales and project teams become much smoother, and the clients are happy because their trusted vendor now offers updated services in line with the industry shift. Let's map Hermione's approach with the 5-step approach we learned about, and this will close the loop of the entire conflict resolution chapter. As for situational awareness, Hermione had observed the continuous banter between Timmy and Jimmy. The second step, investigating objectively, she decided to invite both of them for a direct conversation and identify the issue. To understand the roadblocks to progress, she asked relevant questions about the procedures, the challenges in place, and so on. She determined the seriousness of the conflict by understanding how it would impact the clients, and finally, as the way forward, she decided to bring about changes in both sales and the project spaces in order to make the company more client-centric and future-ready. Now, this was all about conflict resolution. We hope you enjoyed the course. And if you watched all the videos, please reach out to us on info@provis.in. And we would be happy to share a certificate in your name. Don't forget to leave your feedback for us either.